Anthony Huber is lying there over on the ground after you shot him once in the chest, correct?
He said I tried.
You didn't know at that point whether he was alive or dead, did you?
I didn't.
You never went over to check, did you?
No,
You didn't know whether it was
The guy
possible
tried to shoot me in the
save his life
face.
at that moment or not, did you?
I didn't.
And you didn't even care. You just kept on walking. Correct?
I kept walking to get to the police line.
Gage Grosskreutz, right after you shoot him in the arm, is yelling, "I need a medic." Did you hear that?
Yes.
That's in the videos, isn't it?
Yes.
You don't do anything to help
They're
him.
trying to
do you?
kill him.
He was trying to
just
kill me,
decide-
sir.
To get out of there as fast as you can.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Yes, they were trying to kill me.
I was still being chased by a mob of people who would vote for you.
You didn't administer first aid to the man who had a gun that was pointed at your direction after you shot him.
Don't you
Shame
wish
on
Richards would come up and be like, do you think Mr. Binger is so mad because you killed 2 of his voters?
I think this is such frustrating questioning because it's just repetitive and there's no objections. But it will be interesting.
All
to see
right,
what
all
Richards
right. I'm
looks
still
like because-
wait. Yeah, so I'm still watching the case. It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird what's going on. The prosecutor just asked him why he didn't stop to help the person he shot at while being chased by a mob. I don't know why that would. Oh yeah,
There were EMTs or EMS that would be able to come in there, correct?
Yes.
So you took it upon yourself to do the things that you didn't think the police or fire could do, correct?
I wouldn't say I took it upon myself, but I was helping people with first aid and putting out fires at businesses.
So if you saw someone running with a gun and everybody said that guy just shot someone, you would have taken your AR-15 and tried to stop him, wouldn't you?
Yes, thank you.
Goes to the crowd's reaction to him, Your Honor. I think
What
you would
is-
have reacted the same way.
Well, I'd let him answer. He'll have a good answer.
The crowd is important in terms
The judge doesn't like it.
factor that bears on some of the counts as to what the surroundings were. Otherwise, the crowd is unimportant, and what the crowd, what he might
Judge
have
is tired of
done
this.
vis-a-vis the crowd is,
Mhm.
I don't see where we're going.
The crowd's state of mind is not relevant. Kyle's perception
When
of the
you
crowd's
got-
state of mind might be,
Back to that police line.
insofar as he has to defend himself.
And they, what'd you say? They pepper sprayed you?
I believe so, but I don't remember it.
They told you to get out of the road
Yes.
because they were going in there
Yeah.
to do what you hadn't done, which is to try and help the people
What?
get shot, right?
Yeah.
Calls for wild
And then you went
speculation.
back after that to the 59th Street car source, didn't you?
Yes.
And you told them that you just shot someone.
Yes.
Someone, meaning an individual person, correct?
Oh, please.
Oh, give me a break.
Individual. I was saying I just shot someone. I just shot someone.
You were told by Nick Smith that the police were coming to your location, to the 59th Street car source, right?
I don't recall that.
And yet you decided to flee, didn't you?
I don't recall.
No.
You didn't stick around for the police, did you?
I went to go turn myself into the Antioch Police Department
I went to
A
their
couple
car.
of hours later.
an
They
hour.
parachuted me.
I'm asking the witness if the witness can answer.
The judge doesn't like the prosecution because they're
And
Hands up.
in
We've all
between
seen this.
leaving
God.
that location in downtown Kenosha and getting to Antioch, you were looking at social media, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. My phone was dead.
You had heard from other people that your name was out there.
Try this another way.
This
Later
foot here
on in the evening, I believe I heard something,
is
but
not a
no.
lethal weapon.
You knew that your picture
apparently,
was out there, right?
no.
based on
You're telling me,
the judge.
as you sit here under oath,
Ugh.
that after
Yep.
those shootings, between then and the time you turned yourself into the Antioch Police Department, you had no idea that there was social media out there with your picture and your name as the shooter.
How could he know?
I'm trying to recall, but
Objection relevance?
No, I mean, even if he knew or didn't know, he probably
I'm
suspected it
trying
was
to
the
remember.
case.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
trying to say the only reason he turned himself in was because of that.
Who
Oh, yeah, no,
cares?
Which is
Yeah,
irrelevant.
He has
It
no
is.
reason
Completely
to turn
irrelevant.
himself in.
Too.
He-
Yeah,
he doesn't
objection,
have
Your Honor.
time
How
to
are all these?
to sit on Twitter after shooting someone.
you
They're done.
sir.
Oh,
He sat down.
Redirect.
no further,
Finally.
no redirect.
But before that call that witness, I need to use the men's room.
How about a
Wait,
5 to
what?
10 minute break? Please don't talk about the case during the break. You may either use the jury room or you may remain down here
I'm
in the library.
confused.
What?
Kyle, step down.
No redirect.
Why wouldn't you redirect? They
I
gave
would-
you
Oh my
time.
I would have done it a very limited redirect,
Right.
Yeah.
just to
Ask him
say
4
this
questions.
all happened in a matter of what, minutes, seconds, what, and just leave it at that.
I'm not a big fan of redirects normally because usually what you do is you highlight all the places you got it that where they scored points. But this is the time. Like this is where you
Maybe he figures he doesn't want pinch and zoom expert to come in there, and if he redirects, that'll give time for a recross. So maybe
Yeah.
his thought is, I don't want to have that recross. You lost pinch and zoom. You lost all that video. I don't want that coming in. And whatever I can fix on, I can improve on redirect is not worth
Maybe-
that recross.
Maybe
Well,
that's
they
it.
might, they might still be able to.
to.
They might still
Fine,
be able
but
to recall Kyle, though, right?
Well,
Yeah.
if
For
you
that
redirect
purpose?
and then they want to re-examine, what would they do? I mean, Alita, they'll bring up some of the inconsistencies, how many seconds it took, but that's already in the evidence. So for argumentation, I don't know what else they would be able to get in redirect out of Kyle that wouldn't, in theory, open Binger to come back and say, oh, now I can ask
Yeah.
more questions because I didn't know they were going to ask that. Plus, the jury might be totally disinterested, and Richards might see that to give him some credit for not
and the
objecting.
jury might just hate Binger at this point.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Who
think
doesn't?
that cross played as Binger hoped it would.
It did
Um,
not.
If the chat is reflective of the sentiment of Binger, 1,000% of the jury members hate Binger.
I mean,
You hope.
I get a read just from looking at things like I like to look at people who disagree with me on Twitter and look for the reasonable voices
really?
there, the ones who are reasonable but disagreeing. And I'm watching them going, this is ugly. I'm watching them say this, they're feeling bad for Kyle because of what's just happened here. I don't think he scored I don't think any of those punches landed.
Well,
The-
no,
the
some
emotional-
landed in round 2, and then he drug it out 12 more rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put it
Then
this
you
way.
had
Let's
that
put it this
moment with
way.
Kyle getting emotional where it looked like the prosecution was being a bully. And that is the part I guarantee you after lunch where the jury sat up and was like, what's happening? And you saw, and I don't know how people will respond to it. I'm not looking
let
at
me
social,
just
but
say something here.
I thought it was an authentic moment of Kyle trying to explain, I was just trying to make it stop. And that is the only thing I really remember other than the feeling of anger towards Binger from that cross. And I think a jury will take away the annoyance with the prosecutor, the fact that the judge was jumping in over the prosecutor to say, stop it. And the fact that Kyle was saying, I just wanted to make it stop. I didn't want to kill anybody. So anything that the prosecution got before lunch kind of got undone by the stuff after lunch because no one's going to remember it.
Kyle
Guys,
was amazing. Kyle was amazing. Amazing.
I didn't
the way he
expect
just
to
kept
see him do
answering,
that
you know,
well.
I was just trying to stop the threat. Classic, great answer. You know, I wasn't trying to kill anyone. I just wanted to stop the threat. And the way the prosecution is trying to pick apart these tiny, tiny moments was absurd. Oh, he didn't have his gun pointed to you at exactly this second when your gun was exactly here. I'm like, what are we trying to slice out of these moments? It's ridiculous.
Imagine the reductio that he faults Kyle the first time because Rosenbaum didn't have a gun. He faults with Huber because Huber didn't have a bat. He only had a skateboard. Then he faults Kyle with Grosskreutz because he had a gun, but it wasn't pointed at him, and he could have shot him earlier if that's what he really wanted to do.
And it was a little gun.
And it was a little
shot
gun.
him from further away.
But your gun was bigger.
Yeah, your big mean gun.
Technically, his gun's a bigger caliber, but you know.
That's neither here nor there.
In Grosskreuz's testimony, he said, I never had the opportunity. What were you going to do with the gun? I don't know. I never had the opportunity. That was Grosskreuz's response to what he was doing with that gun. So they'll argue it, but man.
Well, see, you say that's the point about they'll argue it. Okay, by letting even if he didn't land punches,
Right, so
and again, I don't think I think this is
5
a
minutes. I'm
net
still waiting for a video.
negative on cross examination. And it might even be in retrospect that we would say that putting Kyle on the stand was a net plus over, but that doesn't mean that that completely ignoring your capital felony witness on the stand and what he's going through and letting the jury slip. You see, when you object, especially in a loosey-goosey courtroom where they don't make you do sidebars for objections and where the jury's basically hearing pretty much everything, your objection is reminding the jury what an asinine argument they're making and what a weak case they have.
Yes.
Because they're relying on asinine arguments. So everyone in the comments who's saying, well, let them hang themselves, let them kill themselves. I don't let them do anything.
If you walk
yes, there is a time, but that time, it was so far beyond that. It was so painful to watch.
It might have worked out for them, but walking into a casino and putting all of your money on one, spin of the roulette wheel is not a good idea. Even if it pays off, it was not a good idea back at the time.
I said it in private chat. Was there a motion sometime mid-cross where Kyle said, I want to go pro se? Because that was the only reasonable explanation.
The same gag.
And unless he was, I mean, this is the thing that everybody.
Just mute this. Let's just see some reactions. Why didn't you just leave your AR-15 on the ground and walk away, Kyle, after, being chased by 20 people? Or 10 or 5, who knows? More than one. Again, like you hear like 3-4 voices saying, get him, so you're like, Kyle, wouldn't have been more responsible to just put your loaded weapon on the ground during a riot and walk away? Wasn't that the safer option for you? That's how the judge, the prosecution is acting. The runtime of the highlights from this trial will be longer than the extended trilogy of Lord of the Rings, just from being around. Oh my god, yeah, it's gonna be an amazing, let's say, highlights of the entire trial. The reels, the compilations are gonna be amazing because these are the most asinine questions I could hear someone. See. How exactly do you think it went for Kyle today? I was really worried about him taking the stand because he took the stand today, so let's see. I still disagree with the risk inherent in putting him on the stand, and it could still be an issue later, but the prosecutor so far has been so insufferable and so easy to dislike that him acting the way he is might solidify a not guilty from the jury. Mr. Rittenhouse, after you got kicked in the chest and hit with a skateboard from the mob chasing you, weren't you the bigger threat to the man that drew a gun on you? He keeps asking the same thing over, basically. Why didn't you just let him shoot you first, bro? Then we know it was self-defense. I have this, and also made this. This is based on a Vice article. Let me just take it out. But where is the article? I think I still have it. Do I? Do I still have it? Oh. Let me just try and see it if it's still here. Oh my god. History. Vice. Let me just search. What's it called? Paramedic. Do you know how paramedic looks today? Oh, writing with one eye, it's not as easy as you think. And also, I bought a QWERTY keyboard, and now I'm fucked because I'm used to. I'm used to the. I'm starting to get used with the ZTE keyboard, which is kind of bad because now I'm bad with both of them. Both keyboards. Nice paramedic. Die, I think. Oh, no, let me just go on Twitter and search for. Oh, oh yeah, here it is. Check it out. Paramedic shot by Rittenhouse believed he was going to die. So, in case you were wondering how is it with a paramedic, like how a paramedic looks. Where is it? Oh, this is it. This is a rare photo of a paramedic trying to preserve his own life, because that was his where, oh damn it, that's how the guy that pointed that gun at Rittenhouse as he was being chased. That's how he's described, as a paramedic, because he had a gun in his hand and pointed at Rittenhouse, and Rittenhouse shot him in the arm. But Vice is, as always, just trying to get a frame that, I don't know, man. They're just weird. Oh, what's up, Ben? What's up, Ben? All right. Let me just get the chat. Make it bigger. The Star Witness did not have a bad pending legal charges. No, unfortunately, he won't be. He might get a fine. But yeah, because this is Rittenhouse's trailer. Wait.
This new written report has those, so I am objecting. It should not be admitted into evidence or shown to the jury.
All right, I don't expect it will be, and if he's offered, it'll, unless he's got some astonishing justification, then it won't be admitted because I said I wasn't. Okay, now, the question becomes, how long will this take? Shame on me, it's 20 to 5.
It's been a long day too. I don't know if you knew that.
But he's here from Oregon and you want to get it in.
Well, no, you're available tomorrow, first thing. Okay. I don't want to start it off, right?
I mean, if I thought you could get your direct in 20 minutes,
Absolutely not.
then why don't we wait till tomorrow? Well, I shouldn't say that. Tell me what the expected course of the case after that, because maybe I would let you if
it's the last thing. Maybe Judge is thinking this is the last witness, and if it's the last one, I'll let it go.
Let's just wrap it up today.
With this witness, 3.
3?
3 more.
Who?
It's weird
She's
to
like,
bring
maybe
Kyle
more.
in the middle.
Raise
You
your
think
right
Kyle
hand.
would be last.
That's funny.
That's what we have under subpoena. Well, Mr. Black isn't under subpoena. We have Drew Hernandez and Bray to clear up the racking of spent shell casings and what evidence was recovered.
Well, I don't want to. I thought Officer Van Wee testified to emptying the gun when at the hospital.
At the crime scene, number 2, event number 2, the state is saying that my client, Paige Grosswitz,
I know what's being said.
the gun. If there
Yeah,
was a
I understand that, and I thought that Officer Van Wee said that there was a full except for 8 shots, 8 bullets.
But there was no, the word I'm looking for, live round found at event number 2. So if there was a re-racking of that bolt, there would have been a live round. And
I counted and I came up with a full load, even without any bullet being found.
Maybe I'm just, and additionally, that Mr. Grosswitz said he didn't know whether or not his gun had one in the chamber. Bukowski testified to it, and in fact, there is a live round right on the ground.
Well, this is what your third. Okay, well,
seems like a waste of
let's deal
witness
with
to
the
me.
realities of it. Unless you gentlemen are prepared to tell me that you're going to send me your proposed instructions on within by 4, like 7 or 8 o'clock tonight, and unless you're going to tell me that you're going to argue for less than an hour and a half each, then we're going to end up either working Saturday or working on Monday. So let's take a vote here because the jury did clear Tuesday.
That's fair because Monday is
and
Veterans Day.
Of course, I think
Well, they want to do jury instructions and
Abraham
motions and then have the jury in on Tuesday, I think.
when he took a vote on
So I'm
the
listening to my
Emancipation
headphones
Proclamation,
because
all the votes were.
this mask is not good for sound.
And then he said, but the deciding vote is I. And so I'm going
So
to
we're
take a vote
supposed to
about what
speak,
you
not
folks
listen.
want to
Hey,
do.
Don't
but
judge. Don't judge.
that doesn't mean it's going to come out the way you want. So
Let's take a vote and then I'll
Actually,
decide if I
was
want to
not
agree with
even
you.
supposed to speak with
who wants to work Saturday?
This was supposed to be.
Who wants to come back on Monday? Okay, so it's 1 to they don't care to I'm going to vote with you on Monday. So okay, so I know.
The judge doesn't want to come in on
Is it okay
Saturday.
if I tell the jury we are hopeful that we will conclude the case on Monday? I understand that. Is there going to be extensive rebuttal?
I don't think it's going to be extensive, but
Yeah.
we do reserve the right to call
Sure,
rebuttal, yes.
I understood. Well, maybe I'll tell them I expect that we'll finish in the time which was given to us, which was included Tuesday. And we'll see what happens. All right. Anything else before I call the jury down? Oh, and then I'm going to dismiss them for the day. And we'll start in the morning with Dr. Black. Anything else?
Do you want the instructions by 7? Is that what you
Yeah, that'd be cool. But if you are you telling me that would be?
I'll do whatever you want.
If you want by 8.
That'd be cool. Get me your
We're
jury
talking
instructions.
about the count 6, right?
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll send you my preliminary. No, I won't do that. I'll send you my preliminary tonight, as long as we're not going to argument until next week. I'm not even going to promise that. Let's just cool. All right.
Don't be all like uncool.
Okay.
Let's call the jury down. Dismiss them for the
I
day.
couldn't help it.
You don't have to send me anything tonight, and I won't send you anything.
Bring in all those flappers
And for the chat, they're talking about jury instructions. The attorneys and the judge work together to write the instructions that the juries will be read to reflect the law, reflect the charges, have the verdict forms, make sure there's no typos. It always feels tedious. It was my
So,
least favorite part of trial work.
Kyle is officially done now, regardless of the video question, the pixelation enhancing question.
I think so.
They could
The state
recall
can't
him
call
for
him.
that.
The state
No?
can't. No.
Yeah, they can now. I think. Couldn't they call him
They
in
could-
rebuttal because he?
Yeah, they
said,
should be able to do that in rebuttal. I would
Right.
think.
Rebuttal.
If there is.
But they'd have to call their expert in rebuttal as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. First, they would have to get the expert because what
But
they would want it for is the Zoom enhance feature.
But I wonder if if not if they legally forfeited it, but if they let it go in favor of trying to show it on the little video today, because they probably called anybody on earth and were told what was going to happen if they brought an honest expert to the stand, tomorrow. So I wonder if that phone call occurred and they're like, no, it doesn't change anything, does it? And they're like, well,
Actually,
You're in favor of
I already told the
moving to
judge.
allow that light to flicker through the remainder of the trial. Why don't we get maintenance in here and hopefully they can fix that. And we're gonna stop for the day, and we're going to
All right.
come tomorrow
That's
morning
it.
at 9.
I can now
And
start writing soon.
I have just discussed
I
the
will
matter
end
with the
stream,
lawyers,
of course, because the
and
tags
I'm
are
very confident that we will
Those
finish
lawyers can talk?
by Tuesday, as I asked you about a couple weeks ago. And there's a bare chance, I don't want to get your hopes up, but there's a chance we could finish on Monday. And that's the best of my information. And it isn't a promise, but I think that's very realistic. So in the meantime, please don't read, watch, or listen to any account of the trial. Or discuss the case with anyone, including members of your immediate household. And any questions? See you tomorrow.
all right. That's it. That's it. Yeah, the trial might end on Monday. That's pretty cool. I will be there. I will be there. I'm just gonna kick some ass writing this week, tomorrow, and to be at least close. And maybe will not I will not stream the writing streams. I will just stream to see the verdict. Maybe we get a verdict, maybe we don't. Who knows? But these dudes, if you don't know them, it's wait. No. This is the Rekieta law. They really, if you want to go and see them, subscribe to them, or get notifications, they are going live every time. They have a lot of law people. They know how the law works there, how the trial works, if you want to be more specific on that. But
didn't care if you killed him when you pulled the trigger at that point. Is there anyone on earth that's going to convince? Because if I'm on the jury, that is an insulting argument that makes me think this judge, Binger, is not out for justice, but rather out for prosecution.
Yes,
depends which
everybody,
way you
Eva,
presume.
everybody who's listening, everybody who's listening to the Young Turks, who's listening to the left, everyone who's never handled a gun in their life, they will absolutely believe that because they just see bigger, scarier. They know nothing of the reality of handling firearms.
He
The
didn't
people
have
who
two
presume
hands on
Kyle
it.
guilty, except though the arguments Binger was making today. So that was about a third of the people that were committed to guilt. That was about a third of the Kenosha jury pool.
oh man,
That's a dark thought.
all right, that was it. Let's just close it. Up, down. Another good day. I will start another stream later. I still need to see some processing videos, how they're doing, and then I'm gonna get some action done. So stay tuned.